Los Angeles is full of strange energy, old buildings with histories that stretch back farther than their walls. My apartment was no exception. I lived there for years, but from the very first night, something felt off. It wasn't just the creaking pipes or the occasional cold draft. It was something deeper, something I couldn't quite name at first. I didn't realize it then, but I had moved into what I now believe was a portal, a place where something else lingered. And she was always there, watching, waiting. My apartment was small, a two-bedroom with a single bath, but the layout made it feel longer, like something stretched where it shouldn't be. The hallways were too narrow, too dark, and the kitchen was almost like another hallway itself. Both sides were lined with cabinets and appliances, leading into a second, dimly lit corridor where the bedrooms, bathroom, and living room connected. It was in that space, the kitchen, the hallway, the in-between, where things happened. It started with the cabinets. At first, I chalked it up to forgetfulness. Maybe I had left them open without realizing it. Maybe there was a draft. But no, this was different. Every single night, I would come home from work to a perfectly normal, silent apartment. Everything closed, untouched. I would relax for a bit, maybe scroll through my phone or watch TV. But the moment I stepped back into the kitchen, all the cabinets would be open. Not just one or two, every single one. Upper cabinets, lower cabinets, even the tiny ones I never used, all gaping open at the exact same angle, like 100 mouths silently waiting. It wasn't random, it wasn't a mistake. Something wanted me to see this. One night, I came home late. The air outside was heavy, thick with LA heat, but the moment I stepped into my apartment, I felt it, cold. A deep, unnatural cold that didn't belong in a city like this. I turned on the light, every cabinet door was open. I exhaled sharply, my pulse spiking. This wasn't new, I had seen this before. I had tried to ignore it, reason it away. But then I saw her. At the end of the hall, just past the kitchen, a little girl stood completely still. She was pale, almost too pale, like she didn't belong in the dim glow of my apartment lights. Her dark eyes were wide, unblinking, locked on me as though she had been waiting for me to notice her. Her dress was cream-colored, old-fashioned, something straight out of an early 1900s photograph. Pigtails framed her small, expressionless face. I couldn't move. My body screamed at me to run, to slam the door to get out. But before I could, she moved. Slowly, deliberately. She walked down the hallway, her bare feet silent against the wooden floor. She didn't rush, didn't disappear suddenly like in the movies. She just turned the corner and vanished into the living room. That night, I barely slept. Every noise, every creak of the building made my skin crawl. But the worst part wasn't that I had seen her. It was the fact that she hadn't been afraid of me. She wasn't hiding. She wanted me to know she was there. From that point on, I couldn't ignore it. The cabinets continued to open. I would hear small giggles in the middle of the night, the sound of bare feet lightly tapping against the floor when no one else was home. Objects moved on their own. My keys would vanish from the counter and reappear in the sink. My phone would be left charging on the table, but show up face down on my bed. She was playful, curious, but that didn't make it any less terrifying. I asked around. Neighbors, old tenants, even the landlord. No one wanted to talk about it. A few brushed it off, laughing awkwardly, but one older tenant, a woman who had lived in the building for decades, finally told me what I had feared. "There's always been something in that apartment," she said, voice hushed. "People come and go. They never stay long." I asked her about the girl, about the cabinets. "You saw her?" she whispered. I nodded. She swallowed hard, then shook her head. "Some say she's been there since the building was built, that she never left." My skin crawled. "What happened to her?" I asked. The woman hesitated. "No one knows for sure. Some say she lived there once. Others say she just appeared one day." She shifted uncomfortably, then added, "But they all say one thing." I leaned in. The woman's eyes darkened. "She likes people," she murmured. "She likes attention." I barely managed a breath. "So she's not dangerous?" The woman didn't blink. "Not yet. I still don't know what she was. A lost spirit, a residual echo of something trapped in time, or something else, something pretending to be innocent. I never found out. I moved out eventually, but even now, I still think about that little girl in the kitchen. The way she stood there watching, the way she moved without fear. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up with a chilling thought. Maybe she wasn't just playing. Maybe she was just waiting. For someone who wouldn't leave. For someone she could keep.